Trust is the currency of any relationship. But what happens when the person who should be protecting that trust is secretly testing it, manipulating you from behind a screen? Tonight, we explore the dark side of digital jealousy and control. Welcome to Voices Unlocked. I'm Alex. Today, we speak with Chloe, who discovered that her partner created an entire fake identity online, not to cheat, but to test her loyalty and control her emotional boundaries. Chloe, thank you for sharing the chilling story of being subjected to his digital surveillance.
Thank you. The realization was terrifying. It wasn't just a betrayal, it was an invasion. I realized every private thought, every polite refusal I made to this stranger was being watched and judged by the one person I was supposed to trust completely. It felt like I was living in a psychological cage.
Tell us about your relationship before this discovery. Was his jealousy evident, or was this manipulation a complete shock?
Our relationship was intense. I mistook his control for passion. He was constantly checking my location, asking specific questions about my workday. I rationalized it as his deep love. But his jealousy escalated to paranoia, and eventually this paranoia moved into the digital realm. He wanted to control my thoughts, not just my actions.
Describe the fake profile. What mechanisms did he use to make this alter ego convincing enough to engage you?
I see. Specific about the calculation. The profile was Ethan, a professional in another city, charming, articulate, and completely tailored to appeal to my past interests. He had a rich history, photos, posts, friends, all fake, of course. Ethan messaged me initially under the guise of networking about a hobby we shared. He started very subtly building an emotional rapport, slowly introducing flirtatious comments. He knew exactly what vulnerabilities to target because he was watching me in real life every day.
At what point did the conversations with Ethan move from professional or polite to clearly testing your boundaries?
Tense, detailing the internal conflict. After about 6 weeks, he started complimenting me late at night, asking if I was happy and suggesting we meet up when he was in town. He was creating a fantasy escape, a constant, subtle temptation. I always politely deflected, stating clearly that I was committed. He was watching me walk the tightrope he had set up.
Emphasizing the self-doubt, how did you rationalize this increasing boundary violation to yourself while remaining loyal to your partner?
Anxious, emphasizing the manufactured guilt. I kept telling myself it was harmless, that it was simply my way of validating that I was still attractive, that I could still say no. I was careful not to cross the line, but the whole situation introduced paranoia into my real relationship. Every time I was distant with my partner, I felt guilty, not realizing the guilt was being manufactured by him too. He was subtly eroding my self-trust.
Building tension towards the climax, what was the single unavoidable event that finally exposed the chilling truth that Ethan and your boyfriend were the same person?
Voice rising in absolute horror and dropping to a whisper. It was a trivial mistake. My boyfriend left his laptop open while he was in the shower. A notification popped up on his screen. It was a reply from me. The last message I had sent to Ethan, visible right there in his main browser. Then I looked at the messaging application he was using for Ethan, and it was an exact replica of our conversation history.
When you confronted him, how did he justify this massive, calculated violation of your privacy and trust?
Raw, desperate tone, emphasizing the toxic justification. He didn't deny it. He immediately shifted the blame. I had to know. I was just trying to protect our relationship. He claimed it was an act of love born out of insecurity. He said, "You passed the test. Why are you so angry?" He couldn't grasp that the test itself was the betrayal. My anger meant he failed to earn his peace of mind.
The violation was total. He controlled both sides of the conversation and judged your responses. What was the immediate psychological impact of realizing your relationship was a controlled experiment?
Icy, clinical tone, detailing the violation of reality. I felt like the floor had dropped out of my reality. I questioned every interaction we had ever had. Was his laughter real? Were his compliments genuine? I felt psychologically degraded. My therapist later explained this as classic covert psychological abuse. I realized I couldn't trust my own perception of him because he had built a system designed to make me doubt everything.
The immediate fallout must have been a torrent of paranoia. How did you begin to trust your own judgment again?
Deep emotional sorrow, detailing the hypervigilance. I left immediately. The recovery process was about establishing firm digital and personal boundaries. I had to check my phone constantly for months, fearing new fake profiles. My therapist helped me understand that his actions were a reflection of his own deep insecurity. I had to consciously dismantle the voice in my head that asked, "Did I pass the test?" The answer is I passed the loyalty test, but I failed the integrity test by staying with a man who thought I needed to be tested.
Focusing on the universal warning about covert control. What is the critical difference between a person who asks for transparency and a person who secretly tests you?
Strong, resolved, delivering the core warning. Transparency is based on respect and dialogue. Testing is based on suspicion and contempt. When someone tests you, they have already made up their mind that you are inherently untrustworthy. They are not seeking truth, they are seeking evidence to confirm their control. If someone in your life is testing you, they are not your partner, they are your jailer.
Chloe, thank you for sharing this chilling story and for alerting so many to the manipulative dangers that can hide behind a seemingly harmless digital profile. You've been listening to Voices Unlocked. Join us next week when we discuss